Hi, I'm Ray Seahorn, and you are listening to Pluribus Diaries.
Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Pluribus Diaries. I'm Annie.
I'm Jen.
And Jen, I've been looking forward to doing this episode ever since this show started. I really have.
Me too, actually.
On this episode, our very favorite top 10 Carol Sturka moments.
Woo-hoo-hoo, which is, there are so many. There are so many to choose from.
It was so hard. I had 10 just from the first episode, easily.
I easily could have. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It was very, very difficult. After a while, I just kind of said, you know what? I'm just going to take 10 that I really like. Is it the top 10? Who will ever be able to say? But these will be good.
Yeah. It was one of those things. And I mean, anyone who's listened to us before, we do lots of top 10 lists on X-Files Diaries. And so we have done these before. It's always a matter of like how you're feeling on the day. I feel like many of the things like, okay, my favorite episodes, like those things don't really change. They're more rigid. But something like this, something where you're talking about moments, or it could depend, like, did I pick a funny one? Did I pick a sad one, an angry one? There are all kinds of ways I could be feeling. This list could be totally different tomorrow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So this is our list today.
Yes, exactly.
This is our lists plural today because it's kind of a top 20 in a way, because you got 10, I got 10, 20 fantastic Carol moments for the listeners. What could be better?
I know. Oh my God. And you know, I'm also just so curious if people's people's favorites aren't even going to be on our list, probably.
Oh my gosh, there's going to be so many more that we haven't included, and everyone's going to be thinking of their favorites.
How could you not include that? How could you not? Like, that's literally what this is going to be. But these are all very personal to us, right? These are the ones we picked that are personal to us. It really made me think, as I was doing my I don't even know what the number is, rewatch of Pluribus.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was doing like a Carol rewatch, which admittedly is, 90% of the show. But
it is, yeah.
At least it's a little quicker because you can skip through some scenes that Carol's not part of.
Yes.
But I was just like amazed at what a great character. Seriously.
Honestly. Yeah.
What an amazing character that we have.
This is it. This is why it was such a challenge, and it was both easy and hard. Easy in the sense that it was so easy to find 10 moments, and hard in the sense that it was hard to stop at 10 moments because there are so many great ones, because it's such a well-written, well-realized character, and Ray Seahorn, of course, does such an amazing job bringing her to life.
Absolutely. And you know what else is interesting too? When I went into this task, I was thinking they were all going to be funny, because I think overall, when I think of Carol as a character, particularly Ray Seahorn playing her, I just think of her as funny. She's very funny. She cracks me up. She kind of reminds me of me in a lot of ways. Not that I'm saying that I'm funny and I crack myself up. I'm not saying that, but I just think that like her like just kind of her anger and her quick thinking and like those sorts of comments are so intrinsic to her character that I thought this list was going to be mostly that. But I was surprised as I went through the show to find kind of a variety of types of Carol moments that were making my list.
Absolutely. I found the same. I was expecting there to be a few more funny ones on my list as well, because I'm exactly the same. When I picture Carol, I picture her with like a snarky quip.
Yes.
And I realized at one point, I'm like, I don't think I have enough snarky quips here. but there's just so much to Carol that there are the snarky quips, but there's so many other things too that it's like there's so many layers and textures to her that you can find, like you say, in any one episode even. So it makes it fun to kind of explore some different sides of her.
It's not very often that we are gifted with such a wonderfully written, well fleshed out character. So thank you, Vince.
Yes.
Thank you to all of the writers. And
absolutely.
Thank you to Ray for bringing Carol Sturka to life.
Absolutely. Like one of the all-time great characters, really. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And we still have so much more to see. I'm just I just can't wait. I'm already like, please, I'm just ready for more Pluribus. And I know we have such a long time to wait, but I'm just
more Pluribus. But in the meantime, we still have 9 perfect episodes that we can still discuss. And there's still so much and so much richness. And I still enjoy rewatching them so much.
Yep.
And they'll keep us going for a while yet, I think.
Absolutely. Well, what do you say, Jen? You want to get started with our lists here?
Let's do it. Should I go first?
Yeah, why don't you start us off with your number 10, top 10 Carol Sturka moment.
Nice. All right. Number 10 from the episode Pirate Lady, the second episode of the series, of course. It's quite early in the episode. It's not long after Carol has met Zosha. And Zosha starts talking about Helen and how much Helen loved Carol. And Carol did not take to this. And Carol lost her shit on Zosha. Just rages at her, like the angriest I think that we ever see Carol.
Oh, by far.
And with good reason. I mean,
absolutely.
She's defending her woman there. She's talking about you're the reason she's dead. Truth. They are a goddamn bunch of grave robbing psychopaths. Also true, quite frankly.
Ghoulish, I think was a word.
Yes.
Right?
A bunch of ghouls.
Ghouls, yes.
You're going to speak for her? Exactly. Well said, Carol. You're right, and you should say it. And yes, it did wind up killing, unfortunately, a very substantial number of people. But of course, Carol had no clue that that was going to happen. That's the first time that this happens. And so she didn't even realize it was going to affect Zosha. I love her sticking up for Helen, defending her memory, and confronting the people responsible for her death. She doesn't just let that go. I appreciate that. And, she was justified. And if something like this ever happened to me, if I was Helen, I would want my wife to stick up for me the way Carol did. So I love Carol just saying what she's got to say, telling it like it is, speaking for her woman. I just love all of it. So that's my number 10.
I love it. I love that you picked her most the probably the darkest, deepest place that we've seen her on this series. I would say that's probably the worst Carol has felt, other than Helen actually dying. That was probably worse.
Yeah.
This
is her angriest, I think.
Her angriest for sure. I like that too, that made the list, because Carol has a right to be angry, as you say. She deserves to be angry, and she deserves to direct all of that anger at Zosha, at the Hive, I should say.
Yeah.
And it was also really good about that moment is that it really does demonstrate how sort of out of touch the Hive is, just in their ability to, like, they think they're making her happy.
Yes.
And we are shown that that's demonstrably false. She is very much not happy by what is happening. Yeah. And that's a really good pick. I really like that a lot.
Great. Thank you. I do enjoy, I enjoy an outraged Carol, and outraged on behalf of Helen, even better. So yeah, I did enjoy that. So tell me, Annie, what's your number 10?
All right. My number 10 is from episode 1, We As Us.
Okay.
Sorry, you already know it's going to be a funny moment, but it's also in a very tense moment when right after Helen has passed out and she is trying to figure out kind of what the fuck's going on and what to do, and she's trying to get the car to go, and she gets into the car and she sees the breathalyzer and she goes, "Oh fuck. Fuck, 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 fuck," and she blows into it and it blows her and she goes, "Oh, fuck you." The best. I love it so much. I love how angry she gets at it, and I love everything about her performance. I think in that first episode, basically her being introduced to this entire world is so traumatic and stressful that those are the little moments that I think are important, because it not only gives us a little bit of levity in the middle of a very, very tense situation, but it shows her personality. It makes me think that, like, this has happened to her before. Like, not obvious, not in the same way, but that she has had to basically cross her fingers and pray that this is going to work. Leans it knowing it's not going to work. And you see it, all of that on her face. Like, she goes, she kind of takes a breath, like, I know this isn't going to work, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then she's just like, "Oh, fuck you." Yeah. I just love it. It's a wonderful little moment. It makes me laugh every single time. So that would be my number 10.
That's a great moment. And yeah, it's very Carol. And it's just, one of those sort of funny little moments in amidst like all this really serious crap going on.
Mhm.
And that's what Pluribus is in so many ways. There's just like, they've really done an amazing job of balancing the drama and the comedy. And
Mhm.
and Ray does an amazing job of performing both of those and making them both very believable. And that's a fantastic example of it. So it is so great. It's like she knows it's probably not going to work, but it's fuck you. I mean, which of us has not from time to time felt the need to yell fuck you at an inanimate object?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I certainly have.
I relate to that so hard on so many levels. I definitely have. Not in the same way. I mean, I've never yelled at a breathalyzer, I can tell you that much. But I have yelled at plenty
Yes.
in inanimate
Yeah.
objects. So
Yeah.
it's just-
I think my computer would be probably number one on the list of things that I've yelled fuck you to from time to time because it won't behave. So I
it's
get it.
probably for me my TV because it's
Okay.
like we've come this far, we've come all this way in technology, and yet I still can't figure out what fucking remote does what thing and turns which thing on, and then the sound isn't working because it's hooked up to the wrong goddamn speaker. I'm getting mad just thinking about it.
I can tell.
And do you remember the olden days, Jen, when you used to just click the button and the TV would come on? You remember that?
All you had was a TV, so
Good times.
it was fairly simple. I'm old enough to remember where there was not even a remote, so it was that much simpler.
Yeah.
There were no remotes. You go over, press the button,
You
it
had
turns
to
on.
click it and then go back and then get up and click it and go back.
Exactly.
Wow.
Simpler times.
It's just one of those many, many moments that I can just relate to her so hard.
She's very relatable. I totally agree with you. I mean, I'm not necessarily like a ragey alcoholic novelist, but yet there are so many moments that I just feel like I can identify with her. She's just a very identifiable character, and
She's very human.
I love that. She's
As she
very
should be.
human.
Yes.
She's very human in this very inhumane situation, and you need a character like that in a show like this for a show like this to work. And
Absolutely.
they've done an amazing job of that.
All right. We are on to number 9. Jen, give us your number 9.
My number 9 is from the episode HDP, and it's the cold open. It's when Carol comes running out of that frozen food warehouse thing and realizes what she has seen, but that she has to go back inside and document this. So it's the scene where she's using her video camera inside the food warehouse. I mean, she's like very distraught when she comes running out. I don't know if I would have had the nerve to go back in after seeing what she saw, but she's got the presence of mind to grab the video camera, go back in, to document it. She gets her shit together. And what follows is so visceral because of the way it's filmed, because it is just Carol, Ray as Carol, filming this scene, speaking to the camera. In some ways, it feels like it's an unfiltered version of Carol because it's like she's talking to us, the audience, in a way, because she's narrating to the camera, which of course she wouldn't do in any other time. And I kind of like that aspect of feeling like we are interacting with Carol. So I love that. I love how brave she's being. And in the midst, again, of all of this crazy shit, she thinks to throw in a line like, that is not a butterball turkey. Like, it's just the whole thing is classic Carol. And God, I just love that scene. So that's my number 9.
What a good pick. Her being terrified too is another emotion. Like I feel like we're getting every emotion on the spectrum. Like we'll probably will be with this character and this list.
For sure.
I think, and what I think is really interesting about that and the way that was performed too is that you even rewatching that scene over and over, like I still feel the same exact sort of horror that I remember feeling the first time we kind of learned this is what was happening. And it's just, it's such a stark contrast with when we run into Diabate later in that episode and he's just like, you're just troubling. You know, like he doesn't even care. And he's like, I've had more time to think about it. And I'm like, well, you know what? It's been a few months since that episode aired and I am still horrified. So
honestly.
Yeah, and I do like that holds up in terms of like even rewatching it. Like when I see her performance, it feels so authentic to that moment.
Yeah, it really does. You're absolutely right. It is still horrifying, even though it is sort of undermined by the narrative later on. It doesn't make that scene have any less impact when I watch it. So,
Right.
yeah, I still love
because
it. And
it is horrifying. Like
it is horrifying. It's just, let's be real here. Come on, Diabate. You didn't see The Warehouse.
Right.
It's
That's
just
a good point.
He
that's
just
a
hears
really good
about
point.
it. Yeah.
I wonder how differently Carol would react a week later if she had only heard about this in the abstract as opposed to seeing it with your own eyes.
And finding it like unexpectedly.
Yeah, that's true, I think, for many things that are just really off-putting or upsetting. Like, I think seeing it with your own eyes makes the experience all the worse. But
it really does. And everything in that scene conveys that. And yeah, just raw emotion just emanating off of Carol, which is often the case with her. And I love that about her. Feel your feelings, Carol.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And shout out to Ray Seahorn, who actually did all of the camera work and acting and blocking and whatever the hell she had to do.
I love it.
Quite a feat, man.
It really is. I mean, I love watching that scene. I've watched it so many times. And that one of the reasons I enjoy it so much, because I'm thinking, God, Ray Seahorn is doing all of this by herself. She is operating this camera. She's remembering where to point the camera, what to say, when to say it. And she does such an amazing job, and it comes off as very real.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. It's a great Carol moment, but also just a really great scene. Really well done.
It really is.
Yeah.
All right. That was my number 9. Now, what is your number 9, Annie?
All right. My number 9, and it's so funny because I love so many of these. I'm surprised this isn't higher on my list, but like, it's like choosing between my babies. Like it's just it's very difficult. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is from the episode Please Carol, when she is in the pharmacy, like looking around for the truth serum, for the what's it called, sodium, whatever. Yeah. And then she's throwing them off by asking for the heroin. And the guy goes, "Wouldn't you rather sniff it?" What is he? Not sniff it. Does he say, "Would you rather eat it?" Not injecting it, like that's not good. And she says, "Nope. I'm gonna Sid Vicious this shit like it's the Chelsea fucking hotel." Still one of my very favorite lines of the series. So funny. I love how casually she throws that off, because it is a very, it sounds like a written line, but when she performs it, it doesn't sound that way. It sounds very just like Carol pulled that out of her pocket and delivered it flawlessly. And I laughed so hard. Such a good line. So funny. That whole scene is hilarious. But that line in particular, one of my favorite lines of the series. So that is my number 9.
I love it. I had a feeling you might use something from that scene, so I steered clear of it, because I love that scene too. It's so great. I love the way she just comes up with, "Got any heroin?" Just like that. Very believable. She's a very good liar. And yeah, I think it's a great point about the Sid Vicious line, that another actor or another director, maybe, it would sound fake and just not something that a real person would say.
Yeah.
But somehow the way that Ray performed it, or the way that it's written, or something, makes it believable. Like I believe that Carol's that kind of a person who's sharp enough and funny enough to come up with something like that off the top of her head, and having no qualms about just saying it.
I find it believable because of the character of Carol. That's why I find it believable. And we're 4 episodes in at this point, and I already believe it. Like I already buy it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they did an amazing job of establishing the character of Carol quite quickly. I mean, even within the first episode. And we just get to know her better and better and more deeply as the show goes on. But they did an amazing job of, as Vince, it's one of his best talents for me, is how quickly and well he establishes characters without having to tell us anything. He just has an amazing talent for just presenting them and showing us what kind of people they are, and for us being able to get that, even for a complex character like Carol.
Right. We draw the conclusions. Like we decide who she is just based on what the little things that they're giving us that that's not spelling it out for us. You're absolutely right.
I love it. I love that about her. And it makes it so fun to do this kind of a list because there's so many interesting little tidbits about her that are just like little nuggets. Every single moment is a little Carol nugget. Delicious.
Yeah. It like informs, okay, yeah. It's like not only is she obviously has this knowledge of heroin. She has this knowledge of true crime, like rock, that kind of music, like punk. What are the things? What is her sort of knowledge bank that allows her to summon up a parallel like that so quickly? You know what I mean?
Yes,
like where is she drawing that from? Yeah, it's like it's amazing, and I love thinking about it. Like I believe all of those things. I believe Carol liked punk as a kid. Mm-hmm. I believe that she probably likes a true crime every now and then. Yep. I could buy all of it. Yeah, it's just it's great. It's great.
It's so much. Like you say, you learn a lot about her in just that one little line and how she delivers it and all those wonderful things. So great choice. Love it.
Okay, are we up to your number 8, Jen?
I believe we are up to my number 8. And my number 8 is from the episode The Gap. And it's one of a few musical numbers that we get in this episode, presented to us by Carol and Ray Seahorn, of course. The one that I chose is It's the End of the World as We Know It.
Nice.
Line, of course. It's the first song that we hear Carol singing in the episode. And so I enjoyed especially because it's like Carol singing. This is fun. This is different. And she genuinely seems to have something of a sense of freedom. There's obviously still, it's Carol. There's layers. She's definitely not feeling fine. Not completely, at least. But it's the closest she gets at this stage. It's the closest we've seen her, I think, to this sense of like being happy and free because she's coming from Vegas. She no longer feels any obligation or any attachment whatsoever to the other survivors. So that's been made clear that that's not going to happen. And she also believes that she's safe from the hive.
Right.
So that gives her a sense of freedom as well. And so, and also just the image of her driving in a police car that is chock full of fireworks down the highway singing It's the End of the World as we Know It. It's just very sort of Carol chaotic. And I love that. Love that about her. Love her singing. Love the song. And that's why it's my number 8.
I love that. I actually have something similar on my list coming up.
Right.
But it's different enough that I think we'll still have fun discussing it. But
excellent. Look forward to it.
I loved that. I love that so much. I like that, like those moments when you're singing and you don't even care how you sound. You're just like you say, it's just she's yelling. She's basically yelling it. She's not really singing it. She's just kind of because there's nobody around to hear me, because I feel free. I feel safe. And everything, like you say, for now is fine. And also I like whatever I picture that scene, I think of the fireworks in the back of her car too, and like that just adds to the effect of her really, just not giving a fuck, like just driving. It really does.
And to me, there's almost like a sense of she's about to blow up the whole damn planet with those fireworks. She's got so many of them, and she's going to end the world herself if she has to.
Yes, absolutely. I love that.
Love it.
Good pick.
All right, what's your number 8?
Okay, my number 8 is just another. I have a trend so far because these are just like funny. These are just funny Carol lines that I just
love it because I feel like I don't have enough funny Carol lines, so I'm glad that you've got some.
Okay, good. This is from the finale.
Nice.
And this is the moment when Manousos is in her house looking for what is it? Why can't I think of the word? Surveillance equipment. Thank you. He's looking for bugs and stuff. Yep. And they find the one in the cabinet. She finds out it wasn't the hive that put it there, but it was actually Helen. And then she has to sort of explain it to Manousos. And the way she ends up explaining it is by saying, "Mi esposa. She didn't like my glug, 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 glug."
So good.
I just love that line. So funny. for many reasons. First of all, it's funny. I just like the glug 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 because it's like, how am I going to get across the drinking to this guy who doesn't speak English? She could have used many, many words, but she decided glug glug glug. Like that.
And with the little sort of pantomime with the bottle as well. Glug 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 glug. It's not just a little bit of drinking; it's a lot of drinking.
It's
It's
lot,
glug 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 glug. Yeah.
So again, just the economy of the word, getting across so much information there.
Yeah.
And then the same with her saying mi esposa. Like that is the first time that actually comes out of her mouth in the entire series. It's at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And she's saying it out loud, but to a man who doesn't entirely speak. He doesn't speak English, even though she knows the Spanish word for it. So she is communicating it to him very clearly. There's still a barrier. I just kind of like the idea that like this might be something that she's never told another person straight out. We don't know. Maybe she has. We don't know how in the closet she was or how deep they were. Clearly they were out and about, but they were also hiding their relationship. So we don't really know for sure. But it does feel like a moment for her to tell another human about Helen, even in like a kind of comedic throwaway way. It's there and it's important. And I think that's also part of that line that I really, really love. Just the fact that she says straight out, tells it how it is. And I really like that. So very meaningful, impactful, and fucking hilarious. That's my number 8.
Perfect choice. This one came very close to making it onto my list, so I'm so glad that it made it onto yours. Because it's that great combination of being hilarious and I mean like it like in a memorable way. Like I don't know how I've managed to do this, but occasionally since then I've somehow managed to introduce those sounds into like my conversation when I'm talking to my husband. I'm like, do we have any glug, 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 glug? And then I'm just kind of like, I just find a way of sort of introducing that into conversation at any opportunity because I love it so much. Does he get the
reference? Like,
he absolutely does. Okay. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, we talk about Pluribus all the time. It's like a nonstop Pluribus podcast around here, which is fun.
I love it.
So yeah, he definitely gets it. And yeah, it's one of those things. I love watching it. I love playing it as like a little pretend game as well. And then ouch, like in the heart, mi esposa. And it's definitely the first time we see her say it on the show. And it's a really interesting kind of beautiful moment, even though she's clearly, feeling a little bit snarky and annoyed at that moment. But at the same time, part of her wanted to say that. Part of her wanted to reach out a little bit, maybe. And it's an important moment. It's an important moment in the series. And I feel like it's kind of maybe going to be a foundational moment for Carol and Manusso's relationship going forward. So I love that moment.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't want to get too off topic, but I just occurred to me how I feel that moment. I mean, that's one of the second moment in the whole season where she's felt a slight twinge of betrayal. That's not the right word because from Helen, or a little bit of heartbreak or a little bit of sadness at something that has happened, and juxtaposed, particularly in this episode, with her current relationship with Zosha that she thinks is fantastic. She's with this person that never needs anything from her and never would judge her for anything and never would hide a sensor in the cabinet. Drink all you fucking want, Carol. Whatever makes you happy. You know what I mean? I just think it's just this. Yeah, it's this wonderful moment of human individuality here, set among this larger, I would say, problem. This larger relationship outside of it. But I like, even though it's a heartbreaking moment, and even though it's a little bit of a betrayal, she's withholding this. She's doing it secretly.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a punch in the gut for Carol.
Yeah. It's a nice little moment because I think it's important that we see that human relationships are not perfect and should not be perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah, it's a really nice juxtaposition and comparison of, like you say, a real human relationship that has its difficulties and flaws with this sort of perfect fantasy relationship that she's having with Zosha, which doesn't have any of those flaws, but also doesn't have the genuine nature of her relationship that she had with Helen.
Right.
Great point. Love it. Love that. Glug, 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 glug. I can't say it enough. Lucky number 7, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got another one from Pirate Lady. There's a lot of great Carol moments for me in Pirate Lady.
There really
just
are.
I feel like they really like front loaded the first couple of episodes with just like an inordinate number of amazing Carol moments. This one is, it's just kind of it's a quiet moment a bit. It's when Carol has, let's just say, made a poor impression at lunch in Spain and wakes up. And she's feeling a bit regretful and probably pretty hungover at the same time. She looks rough. And she has a short conversation with Zosha on the phone. And what I love about it is that this is Carol being, we see how self-aware she is. She knows, she's not oblivious to her faults. At least she isn't when she's sober. And she doesn't want to be like this. She recognizes when she's messed up. And she feels bad about it. So, she feels bad about what's happened. She feels bad about the fact that she's set off the hive people into one of their sort of seizure situations again. And also that she screwed things up with the other survivors as well. So she's feeling bad for the loss of the opportunity to try to make things better. But also I think she genuinely feels bad for having caused the whole seizure situation. So we see her asking Zosha, how are you feeling? Which is an interesting sort of follow-up to the conversation she had on Air Force One, where she was challenged by the other survivors of, do you ever ask them anything? And here she is asking them something. And she seems genuinely to want to know.
Right.
And when she says, you got anything to make me stop doing this? Ouch, my heart. It breaks every time. I feel like maybe she's talking about two things at once in a way. You could interpret it both ways or both at once, I think. I think the more obvious meaning is that how can I stop setting off everyone and creating these dangerous situations with my temper? And also, I think part of me thinks she's also saying, how do I stop getting drunk and messing up? Because I think this is not something that's uncommon in her life.
Well, pare it down. Like, stop being me. Stop being
truly.
Do you know? Like, that's
truly stop.
That's the
stop
question
being.
She's asking. Yeah.
Stop being angry. Stop being messy. Stop being abrasive. That's Carol. Those are all of not her best qualities, but they are what makes up Carol in a lot of ways. And yeah, you're absolutely right. She's asking, like, can you stop me being me? And it's just kind of heartbreaking to see that she feels that degree of unhappiness with herself.
Yeah.
And a feeling of, I don't want to be this way. And it's one of the rare times I think that we kind of see her being that vulnerable and that being that honest. And obviously you can see why she doesn't do it more often, because it hurts like hell. Yeah. And it hurts to watch, but it's very raw and it's very believable. And I feel like we get to know another level of Carol in that moment. And I enjoy that. So that's my number 7.
Yeah. The irony is that when she asks Zosha, do you have anything to make me stop doing this? She should have said, sure, you should join us.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been a good opening, wouldn't it?
But she couldn't, because they don't know how to make her join yet. They don't. Yeah, they don't have that information.
They can't offer it yet. But no, I think she just. But she just decides to like talk about the breakfast that they can make for her instead.
Right. That's all she can. That's all she can do. But the interesting thing, though, is if she had asked that same question a couple months later, Zosha would have pushed hard and been like, "Sure,
totally.
yeah, here we got a thing. You could just breathe it in, and all your problems will be over." Yeah,
to go. And you know what? When she's feeling that low, when Carol is feeling that low, I bet you she would, for a moment, be tempted. I don't think she would do it, but that's as close to being tempted as she would get, I think, because I think that's Carol at her lowest, I think.
It's interesting, too, that you bring up. I agree that this is a great moment. And again, with the performance, just the way her breath kind of catches in her throat. And she's kind of like, you could tell she's trying not to cry. And she just, you can see
Yeah.
that entire lunch just flash over her face. Like she's like, this is done. I fucked it
Yeah.
up. I really like a character that does something seemingly unforgivable, and then you see on their face and you believe that they realize they've fucked up and they want to be forgiven and they want to be better.
Yeah.
And when you were talking about that, it made me think of why I love the character Kim Wexler so much from Better Call Saul, because she gets to a point, spoiler alert, she gets to a point where she does something so bad, so horrible, that you almost lose her. Like you're almost like, Kim, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And she gets to that point where she reels it back, and you see that she regrets it, and you see that she wishes she could take it all back. And in that moment, you can forgive the character. And I feel like Carol has those sorts of qualities too, in a different way, but very much like you can see her regretting her choices. And I think that's really, really important for these characters to grow. And this is a really great example of that.
I think it's a great point and a great comparison with Kim Wexler as well. And yeah, I think it's key for a character like Carol, who does a lot of things that are hard to like and are certainly not the kind of thing that you would normally find appealing and really isn't meant to be appealing. But if you're going to root for her as a character, you need to see that she gets that those things are not okay, and that she understands she shouldn't act that way and that she wishes she didn't. That doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to stop acting that way. That's part of like almost the tragedy of her character, that she doesn't necessarily want to act this way, but she does anyway.
But we can be on her side.
But we can still be on her side because we can see that she gets it and she's trying and she wants to be better. But we can also see why she winds up doing these kinds of things, because we all have flaws, right? We all have things that we do over and over that we wish we could stop doing. And we know we've messed up. We know we shouldn't have done that. I know I should not have had that second piece of chocolate cake, but I did it anyway. And I'm facing the consequences. So it's again, something I can really relate to. And it's a really smart and effective way of making us care about a character that does unlikable things.
Yeah, agreed. Yep.
All right, what's your lucky number 7, Annie?
All right, my number 7. Let's go back to episode 1. We is us again. This is before the joining. This is at the book signing.
Oh,
I love the scene. Well, where all the fans are coming up to Carol and they're signing she's signing all their books and stuff. But particularly, specifically, I love the moment where Maureen, good old Maureen, is just so distraught that Raban is not on the cover. And she's so worried that Carol leans in and tells her, "Hey, page 218." And it gives her that little bit of like, don't give up. Don't give up. It's like, you could look at that as Carol just maybe not wanting to lose a customer, but I don't see it that way at all. I see Carol, despite what she says and despite the things that she seems to feel, I think she does genuinely care about her fans. And I think that deep down, and we'll get to this later at another moment that I'm having later down the road, I think she really does care about Waikaro. And so I think that like her in this little moment shows both of those things, that she has a heart for her fans and for her work, is as much as she likes to say otherwise. So that's why I think this is a great little moment, tiny little moment, but I just love it. And so that is my number 7.
Love it. Love that you brought that one in, because I do really enjoy the book signing scene. So much of it you can kind of see as artifice, but I still enjoy it. And I still feel like we do see glimpses of the real Carol. And I think that moment that you have on your list is one of those moments, because she didn't have to say that. There was she didn't need to say any of that. She could have said anything to get Maureen to move along. Like, hey, don't worry about it, Maureen. You'll find out. Just read the book. Yeah. But she really made like a very sort of sweet effort to reassure her, which worked beautifully. I mean, Maureen just looked so tickled.
Yeah. It worked.
A real human connection. And it is believable and it is very sweet. And yeah, I do enjoy that. I think you're right. I think that Carol has a very complicated relationship with White Carol and with her fans. I think that she imagines that she hates them, but there's way more to it than that, as there is with Carol at all times. So great choice. Love that scene.
It's interesting too now. Whenever I rewatch Charm Offensive, the scene where Zosha reads the book and she's talking to Carol and she's so excited, I always now picture Maureen. I go, "That's Maureen in there. That's Maureen saying that."
So true. That is definitely Maureen talking. Absolutely true. We can, and that's one of the wonderful benefits of having that scene is that the existence of fans of White Carol becomes kind of a significant part of the plot as the show goes along. So we need to have really seen them to believe that, and it's a great scene for that reason. And it's a really interesting introduction to Carol.
Yeah, definitely
love that. All right, number 6.
Number six.
Okay, number 6.
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know what happened. I went super high there. I was just excited because we were on to number 6.
Speaking
of Charm Offensive, my number 6 is from Charm Offensive, and it's a complicated moment. It's the moment when Carol confronts Zosha about what Zosha's been up to through that episode of manipulating Carol, setting up that whole diner scene.
The Charm Offensive.
The Charm Offensive. Exactly. She calls Zosha on it, and she's angry, and she's very insightful. She knows exactly what's going on. You know, she says, "You're trying to distract me. You're trying to knock me off course." It's all an act. It's manipulative bullshit because I haven't given up. And I love that. She can see it all. It's unsustainable, she says. You can't pick a goddamn apple off a tree. And then, she starts to break my heart a little bit towards the end of her adorable rant when she says, "Someone has to put the world right, even if it means you all leave me again, even if it means that and her voice kind of breaks. And to me, this is a perfect little moment. And we know what happens after that. There is kissing. But up until that moment, it's a really interesting insight for me into Carol's pull into 2 different directions at this point in the series, where she really wants to stick to her mission. She really does believe that she does have to put the world right. She knows that she's, at this point, she believes the only person that can do that. And that what's happening really isn't sustainable, that it is crazy, that she is being manipulated. She shouldn't be falling for any of this shit. But at the same time, she's so lonely and so vulnerable. And she's being pulled in those 2 directions at once. And it's tough.
It's like, which is more powerful at which moment? And they're constantly in battle.
Yeah. What's going to win out? We know what went out at the end of that scene. But when you watch it, you can see how vulnerable Carol is at that exact moment. And Zosha does not hesitate to, should we say, take advantage of that moment? Yeah. A more neutral term would be to seize the moment.
Well, we can look at it like they say. She's just trying to make her happy. But we know that there's more to it than that.
She's just trying to make her happy at a moment when she's incredibly vulnerable and has just called Zosha on her bullshit. And Zosha might want to kind of like paper over that whole situation. Forget about all the manipulation. Let's make out. I mean, it would probably, making out with Zosha would probably make me forget any concerns I
think
had
it would work
well.
on literally anyone. Yes.
I get it. Totally get it. But and watching the episode, it was such a relief for me to see Carol like that before the kissing part, because we hadn't really seen the Carol that I know and love during that episode. She was very sort of like in Zosha's thrall, which was quite deliberate on Zosha's part, I think.
Or either in the thrall or putting on her own charm
both
offensive.
At once, really.
Both simultaneously, yes.
Easily both at once, I think. But and so really just not a lot of genuine Carol, I think.
Yes, agreed. And
but here we see
genuine Carol here, yes.
This is genuine Carol. It's the only time we've seen it through that episode, I think. And sadly, for me, the only time we see genuine Carol again until the end of the finale. This is sort of the last glimpse, I think, of my Carol, at least, until the end of the finale. And so it's kind of a precious moment.
Yeah.
And it's a great moment. And it's slightly undermined for me by the fact that she does give in. But I mean, like, who can blame her at that point? She's been fucked over in a very significant way.
Mhm.
But, you know, she's trying. She is trying to be as tough as she can be. And at that stage, who could blame her for having a moment of weakness when she has been so tough and so put upon for so long?
Yeah.
And it just all comes to a peak at that moment. And it's really compelling.
It's a really, really great climactic moment in the arc of the entire series. Like, who would think that, like, when this show started out, if you had told me that a kiss would be like the most climactic moment of this show,
Yeah.
which I still, and remains to be seen, don't think that that's what this show is necessarily about. I don't think this is going to necessarily be a romance show necessarily.
No, not necessarily.
But again, Vince loves to throw these curveballs at us. It's like, this
Sure
is not,
does.
it's a huge scope, but it's kind of a quiet bang. I don't mean that in a sexual way, even though that's what it was. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a huge fight scene. There's not
there's no explosions.
It's a kiss. And I mean, and it's so pivotal. So pivotal.
This is it.
So the entire push-pull that she's been dealing with this whole season, not even just in this episode, but this whole season with the Hive.
Yeah.
And it reaches this boiling point.
Yes.
And you're right. That's the moment where we kind of lose Carol until the end. I mean, granted, we do get to see a little bit old Carol come out when she's with Manousos. We do get to see that a little bit.
We do.
But she's behaving that way because she's changed, you know?
Yeah.
So you're right. And that is a very important moment. We get all kinds of different emotions. We get anger, we get sadness, we get loneliness, we get lust, we get all of these things.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. It's really, really good stuff and a really great scene. And it's a really good moment for her because, we can be mad at her for falling victim, but we also can't. It's the same thing we were talking about before. We can't really blame her. And she does come around and want to set it right at some point. So
exactly. Yeah. And she knows she can see it for a moment. We know that she's not been completely thrown by the charm offensive. We know that she does see it. But that even in spite of that, the pull is so powerful, and given her circumstances, that she can only resist for so long. And it just that whole sort of like monologue that she has essentially really leads us through that, I think, and just beautifully written and beautifully done.
Yeah, totally. Really, really good moment. I like that you picked that.
Love it. All right, what's your number 6?
Oh my goodness, we're already. This is like the first half of the list, right?
Yeah,
the first half of the list here.
We're cooking, baby.
Okay, my number 6 is actually the one I was referencing earlier. That's sort of like your pick from The Gap, where you have Carol singing "It's the End of the World as We Know It."
Yes.
I actually put all the singing, the whole montage, and I mean, it's technically a different part because it's after the credits. Like I think from the moment where she goes to the hot springs where she's singing, "It's getting hot in here, so hot." From that moment, like I think from there, and then she's like singing, or wait, before that she's singing "Born to Be Wild," right? Yeah. Head out on the highway. Yeah. And then to top it all off, she starts singing Georgia as she's like walking around the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum. So
beautiful.
That whole sequence would be my pick because, and the reason I can kind of cheat and put this all together is because I feel like, and as I mentioned on that episode, there's something so comforting about singing to yourself when you know that no one's around to hear it. Because and I know this very well because I do this constantly at home. I work from home and by myself. I sing to myself and then I pretend that I'm singing to the cats or the dog. I
get it.
I sing to myself and then I begin to actually sing to them because I feel silly singing to myself, but it is actually sillier that I'm singing to the animals. Either way, it's just such a nice, comforting moment. Like particularly her in the museum, how she's just kind of humming to herself and singing to herself, probably mindlessly. I think at that point in her day, she doesn't even know that she's doing it.
Yeah.
I forgot the
Yeah.
Caddyshack song. That would have been part of this montage too. Her
Oh, that's
Caddyshack
right.
song on the golf course.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't realize you're doing it. You've been doing it all day long, and it's just these songs are coming out of your mouth. Like
Yeah.
the same thing. She sees the sign Georgia, which Georgia on my mind has nothing to do with Georgia O'Keeffe, but she starts singing Georgia. Yeah,
It just comes to her.
That's what happens, and it's again so realistic, so human, funny, relatable, and adorable. And good job, Ray, with your singing. You're never going to get a recording contract, but for God's sakes, you have to be bad at something sometime. Right?
She can't be perfect at everything.
Jeez. So yes, that sequence would be in my number 6.
I love it. I love that you chose that sequence. It's all great. It is very real. It's very relatable. It's very human. That's kind of a theme here that, all of the aspects of Carol that are so very human. And this is definitely one of them. Yeah, I definitely sing to myself as well. I talk to myself a lot as well. It's very off-putting for people if they hear me talking to myself at work. They're like, were you talking to me? No, sorry, talking to my computer.
And I don't talk. I always sing. If words are coming out of my mouth,
Carol, yeah,
it's music, and it's dumb songs that I just make up. And then I go, I have officially lost my marbles, and so I get it. And she's not far off from losing her marbles.
She's got every reason to. She's picking some very bang on songs, I think, for the occasions as well.
For each occasion,
remembers the lyrics, impressive.
Yeah.
Does a pretty decent job, honestly, of the performance, better than I would.
Hey, a little bit of trivia, real quick. A little bit of television trivia.
Yeah,
they would have had to pay to get all of those songs,
right.
even though they're not the actual songs, and she's singing them.
Right,
they would still have to pay, but it would be less. Just in case people don't know that. Interesting little fun fact, as Zosha would say. You would pay.
That was good.
You still have to pay to use that song, but it would be less than if you actually had to play the song.
That is very, very interesting. I enjoyed that fun fact. I always like those little peeks behind the scenes there. Worth it. Worth every penny. I wonder if there's any songs that they were thinking of that wound up being too expensive. I don't know. But the ones that they picked were great and very sort of perfect for each scene. And yeah, very believable. Adds something to each scene because it's just Carol on her own, but she's singing. So it just adds another layer to the scene.
I could probably find out which of those songs is the most expensive. Now I'm on a mission. I'm gonna
please.
See if I can find out. Yeah,
I'm actually really. Should I guess? Let me guess which one's going to be
what
the
do
most expensive one.
We got It's the End of the World as We Know It.
Yeah.
We've got Born to Be Wild.
Yeah.
We've got Nelly's It's Getting Hot in Here.
Yes.
We've got Kenny Loggins' I'm All Right.
Yeah, I'm All Right. Yeah.
And we've got Georgia on my mind, and that's Ray Charles, right?
Yeah, he sang it at least. I'm not totally sure.
Yeah,
who wrote
I don't know
it.
if he wrote it, but
yeah. Okay, I'm gonna guess the most expensive of those. I'm gonna say that it's the End of the World as We Know It. That's just a wild guess.
Okay, I think I agree with you.
Yeah,
I think I agree with you. The only other one I think might be more is the Caddyshack one. We'll see.
Maybe
that would be my other guess, but I do think you're probably right. And it just occurred to me that in that montage, it's not really part of my number 6, but they also play "I Will Survive" on the piano. That's another one.
Do.
She doesn't sing it,
that.
but it's like on the player piano. So
it's another song.
It's a different version.
She does choose it. Yeah, and they would have had to play for that too. I wished with all my heart. It's an expensive episode, and just that's where all the Apple Music, Apple money went straight into paying for the music. I love that version of "I Will Survive." By the way, that very sort of grand piano version.
Yes. Yeah.
Part of me was kind of hoping it would somehow find its way onto the soundtrack, but of course, it's not written by Dave Porter. There's no reason why it would. And I don't think that that version exists beyond those few notes that we heard that were, I'm sure, just arranged for that episode. But God, I do love that. I enjoy listening to it. So
really good.
I almost included that scene too because I enjoyed that whole scene so much. So well said, well done, well chosen. Love all of the singing. Should we just declare that is a musical episode? At least Carol's parts of it. Carol's parts of The Gap are a musical.
I remember when you mention on one of the episodes we did recently about how you think that this could be a one-woman show just with Carol.
Yeah.
And can you imagine how amazing, like there would be musical numbers where you see her singing I Will Survive.
Yes.
Like I could see it happening.
Absolutely. It kind of breaks up the show a little bit when it's just, a one-woman show talking on stage. It breaks it up a little bit if she breaks out in song occasionally. So I think that would be very believable, very good. I think we just need to make this happen. It's just going to be Pluribus, the stage show.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we'll just see if Roy will come on board for free. And then we're all set. We don't have a budget, but love the idea. And I mean, it speaks to how strong the character of Carol is that she could carry a show literally by herself, and I would watch that all day long.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, do you think that's a good place to end this first part of this episode, Jen?
Let's leave folks hanging to hear what our top 5 is from here.
I love it because you know what? These very well could have been top 5s, and I don't think anyone would have complained.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I don't think I can get any more enthusiastic than I have been for our first 5, but there's 5 more great ones to come.
Love it. Well, thanks guys for listening. We want to know yours, and by the time you hear this, ours are already locked in because we're going to finish the rest of this episode tonight. You just don't get to hear it yet. Yeah. So please let us know what your favorite moments. I don't know if you can fit top 10 into like a tweet, but email us.
Make it a multi-part tweet, whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. Let us know what your favorite Carol moments are is basically what we're saying. At PluribusPod, on Twitter, on Blue Sky, or at Gmail. Please let us know what your favorite Carol moments are. And you know what? We will read more on the pod. We will. We're going to read people's moments on the next podcast because there are always going to be more to talk about.
There always is. And I guarantee whichever ones people say, I'm going to be like, yes, that's a great moment too.
We'll see if they made our short lists.
Yeah.
Well, thanks guys for listening. And definitely tune back in 2 weeks if you want to hear the top 5 of our lists. So we will see you next time on Pluribus Diaries. Bye.